Now, for some people, Belfast may seem an unlikely cruise destination, but this year it's set to break records with over 150 ships visiting the city.
Well, this morning a dedicated cruise terminal was opened along Belfast Lough to welcome the thousands of tourists who will visit these shores every year. And Jordan Moats is there for us this evening. Jordan.
Yes, well, good evening from Belfast Harbour. Just take a look at this massive big ship here behind me. It holds around 4,000 passengers and another 1,000 crew on top of that again. It docked here first thing this morning. It's one of dozens of ships that dock here every single month, and usually they're greeted with a fairly bland looking car park, but that all changed today with the opening of this brand new cruise terminal here in Belfast, and it was put to the test straight away with all these passengers getting off the ship. Belfast Lough had an impressive visitor this morning. Towering above everything else, the ship cruised into the city. Those on board ready for a day's sightseeing. Once docked, they were keen to get going and see what the city had on offer.
What are our plans? Just sightseeing. Seeing as much as we can.
It's an easy trip in terms that I have the language. So that's the number one issue for me, so I'll understand what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing.
We just like to get off and just look and just see what we can find, kind of explore.
Beautiful country. Yeah, Ireland, very, very pretty.
Those leaving the ship this morning were the first to set foot in the newly opened terminal. This quayside facility has a visitor information centre and showcases some of Northern Ireland's top attractions. The £500,000 upgrade to the facilities here saw the site developed to cope with increased demand, and the lock also dredged to accommodate larger ships.
It allows us to use modern technology, audio-visual, digital, to showcase the best that Belfast and Northern Ireland has, which is very important because 76% of all the people that get off this ship say that they will return to Belfast and Northern Ireland if they have a good time, and it's our job to make sure they do have a good time. It's our job to make sure that they can get the best of their trip to Belfast and Northern Ireland.
Cruise is a great success story for Belfast Harbour, for the city and for Northern Ireland tourism, and by having a facility like this we hope that we can build upon that success and further grow the industry. We welcome over 300,000 visitors this year, and all the projections are for the sector to keep growing at a rate of 10-12% per annum.
Belfast is a regular destination for this ship. It'll visit here multiple times throughout the year. Every time around 4,000 tourists will flow through that dedicated terminal. This morning the ship's captain watched as his passengers disembarked. This a changed city from the first time he visited.
It's a big step from when I came here first time in 1995 in that old dry dock, which I understand now is no longer working, to these days when we have these brand new facilities. Lots of things that improved. You guys are doing a great job, and I hope that things will continue this way.
A constant flow of tourists heading off to explore Northern Ireland. Belfast is now such a popular cruise destination. This ship is just one of around 150 to visit this year. Well, let's get a little bit more now on just how big this cruise industry is for Northern Ireland. With me is John McGrillen from Tourism NI. John, first ships came here in 1996, 2 ships. The industry's been booming ever since.
Yes. Yeah, I think it reflects the growth in the tourism industry in general. You know, we've grown from very sort of small baseline or low baseline to an industry which is now worth over £1 billion a year to Northern Ireland, and probably the cruise sector is one of the fastest growing segments of that market.
And how many ships are we expecting this year, and how many people will be coming to Northern Ireland?
This year we're expecting 198 ships, bringing almost 300,000 passengers here over the course of the summer.
That's a significant number of people to bring into Belfast, nearly the size of Belfast itself.
It is. It's the population of Belfast, I suppose, and it creates a real cosmopolitan feel around the city, and therefore, you know, it generates a really good welcome, not just for the people coming off the cruise ships, but people who are coming by other means as well.
And this cruise ship terminal today, a bit of a milestone in the journey for the cruise industry here in Northern Ireland. How vital is it to have this facility for people getting off these ships?
Well, from our perspective, we think the real strength of Northern Ireland is in the welcome that people receive when they get here. I think this is a huge improvement. I mean, this is a much better welcome that people will get when they come. And I suppose first impressions and last impressions are very important. And given that 60% of people who come on cruise visits give consideration to coming back to those places where they've enjoyed their stay that's a very important factor from our perspective.
John McGrillen, thank you very much. We'll have to leave it there. Well, this ship here, all the passengers, they've been out and about across Northern Ireland all day today. Some have even ventured as far up as the north coast. They're boarding again now. They'll head off towards France eventually. And this ship itself, it's not all leaving here completely. It's not all sailing into the sunset. It'll be back again in a few weeks' time. And in the meantime, there'll be plenty of other ships as well.